I am Jane, and I'm a spiritual guide, and I talk about all things Ascension related, raising our vibes. So I, first of all, want to thank you so much for taking the time and checking this out. I really appreciate it a lot. So I wanted to hop on here and talk about neutrality. So I have found myself in a very new position, a new place in my life, where I'm a neutral observer to a lot of things. And when I first kind of shifted into that paradigm, that perspective, I didn't realize how challenging it was for me, because I was getting in my new space of that, right? Like me not kind of knowing what this is, I was getting reflections back of myself through others that that reflected back that that I should be hurting more, or I should be more traumatized, or whatever, kind of down that path. And as I've continued to grow in this neutral space, it's the reflections of like not understanding have kind of gone away, at least for me. So I realized this really big recently. So I had received a gift in the mail, and it was a very kind gift, and it meant a lot to me. The person that sent it has also stated that they don't accept me and what I am doing with my life. So old me would have been like, definitely like, yay, right? And also like, why are you sending me stuff? Like, you don't even accept who I am. And it would have led to this internal place of grr, like confusion. Or I would have just chosen one. Probably would have chosen this one, because that's probably what I would have needed to work through the most. So that's what we usually choose, I feel like. So in this recent experience of this duality, I have found that it's not that I don't feel either of these things. Like, I feel so much gratitude for them taking the time and sending this gift and their energy that they put into it. And I feel like, what? Why would you do this? You don't even accept me. Like, literally, you've told me you don't accept who I am and how I am expressing myself and living my life. And there's this kind of like attitude that I feel, and like a hug attitude. And I literally kind of feel them both with equanimity, so much so that I'm just observing them, because the way I am energetically feeling about it is like super neutral. And having this experience kind of created the space for me to realize, like, oh, this is being a neutral observer. This is, having something happen, or whatever, we witness something, and we have an experience or a perspective of both ends of the spectrum with it. Good and heavy, light and heavy. And at the same time, just being aware of like, I'm feeling both of these things. Okay, so that's a thing. I'm feeling both of them. And I don't have to do anything about it. Like, I literally am neutral about it. And I feel like this is really helpful as we continue to ascend and go through this process, as we, increase our vibe and we welcome more of the God source within us through our being and our body. Because from what I have seen in other timelines, future, there's gonna be just a lot of crazy stuff happening, that we can look at from two different angles. We can look at it like Notre Dame. We can look at it like, beautiful architecture burned down, and yay, something gets to grow out of it. We get to start talking about the paradigm that it represented and all this other stuff. So I feel like we're going to start seeing more of these events that feel catastrophic or that may be traditionally perceived as negative, and being able to see them in true neutrality and not reacting to either of them is going to be in our sovereign highest good, and then also on the collective highest good. So which is interesting because, if you think about a magnet having its polarity, when they're evenly polarized, it's like the energy flows so much more easily. If you have like a North Pole and a South Pole and like all the energy is on the North Pole, then the energy doesn't flow as well. I mean, well, it can't because it's an even, anyway. But all that to say, we are the embodied polarity. We are the yin and the yang, and we are the sun and the moon, and the divine feminine and masculine. We are the light and the dark. We are the higher self and the egoic third dimensional aspect. Like, we are both of these polarity pieces. So when we find balance and homeostasis in that, that's where we start to be the beings on the new earth. We are being the beings of the new earth, which means that everything that we create from that point is aligned with the new earth, the heaven on earth, the higher frequency consciousness, so that what we create is in alignment with that. And it's like, the more the merrier. When stuff happens and we need to feel like we fight it, and eradicate it and make it different, we are feeding the pole that we don't like. So, which just stays in that old paradigm, that direct current electrical impulse, just like go and attack kind of thing, as opposed to the newer earth way that I'm seeing, which is a lot more cyclical. It's a complete revolution. It's a whole energetic exchange. It's the infinity symbol. It's this even back and forth flow where I'm not judging parts of the poles and saying, well, I only like this because it's good. I only like this thing that I received because I deserve it. Or, they finally tapped into their heart, or whatever. I don't know, like stories, judgments, or, flipping to the other side. Like, when we don't have a judgment on either of the things in the polarized now, where we will be seeing, this is what I'm saying anyway, where we'll be seeing more examples of polarities in like big ways. So as more news comes out about those in politics and those in like big pharma and with the banking and with the church, and with combining all of those entities with certain things like human trafficking and doing things that are not kind to the earth and the beings on it. To be able to witness these experiences as neutral, not liking them, right? Like, we don't have to like it, and we don't have to be like, yes, that's amazing, but to be able to be neutral about it and still feel like, feel the feelings of both of the polarities, and bringing the alignment to the inward space of recognizing that I feel these two different ways at the same time. Yay, I'm a more complete, aligned human than I ever have been before. And then now, where can I go with this information? What can I create? What type of community can I grow with? What type of community can I support? What type of changes can I make in the world? What type of impact can I be? Because as soon as we go into judging one of the polarities, one of the judging the victims or judging those that did the abusing, we become like imbalanced. So I wanted to share this neutrality and being the observer as we continue to ascend sovereignly and on the collective level, as we start to see things that are displeasing. There will be more stuff that comes out that there might be some people that like really freak out, right? And that's okay, not judging them, right? And also not judging those that accept the isness of what is. That's a whole different kind of neutrality as well. So that is what I wanted to share on this day, on where I am in my ascension, and hopefully it'll be of service to someone. If there's anything that you're dealing with in your ascension process, you know, I feel like I have, and I know others have, like, started to see more things outside of what we've been taught to be like traditional reality. And just like not understanding how to deal with the extra frequencies that are coming in, or what rituals to impart in life, and to find this inner stillness and alignment in the now, as many nows as you remember that you're now. And then how to create moving forward. Anyway, so that's what I help people with. So if there's any ascension support that you need, you can click on the link below and we can ascend together. So I hope that you enjoy the rest of this day and you can find your neutrality and still feel the yays and the nays and feel the highs and the lows, and maybe finding both of them at the same time. Feeling the really deep, dark depression, like life sucks and I just want to die. These are thoughts that I've recently had. And at the same time be like, so I'm really curious how this is going to turn out, right? So like I can still feel this like super dark stuff, and almost like an eagerness and an excitement for, I know everything is temporary because everything is always moving, because that's the energy that I choose to flow in. I don't like the stagnation of just stopping and being like, I'm depressed and this sucks. I'll feel it, and I feel the opposing side until I can find my own balance. So I hope that was of service. Feel free to like this, to subscribe. Feel totally free to share it. I think that'd be fantastic. If it's going to be of service, of course. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to share. Have a lovely rest of your day, and yeah, I'll hop on here again another time. Okay, bye.